hands on deck to get this place ship-shape before Commander Richards arrives.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
We clear?
Yes.
Where's my Red and crew at?
Everywhere!
God, let's go, Tyler!
Wow. God. Thank you for letting that go.
You get the mulligan, bro. Where's my Red and crew at?
Everywhere! Oh.
Friends.
My phone rang, and it was one producer by the name of Todd Gardner, who I knew and loved very well. And he said to me, remember the script Playing with Fire, which I had read Incarnation years ago, and sent it to me. I read it in London in between rehearsal, and I fell in love with it. I loved everything about the concept of how wild fire can be and how wild kids can be. I love the idea of a group of smoke jumpers who are sort of the Navy SEALs of firemen, who can fight and control anything, not being able to win against these three kids. I'm a dad, so a lot of what I read in the script are things that I can personally relate to. And obviously I'm built like John Cena, so I knew that there was a calling for me to work with him, because I look in the mirror sometimes, I'm like, am I looking at me, Andy Fickman, or am I looking at John Cena? I felt the only way I could control the situation was to have John Cena next to me, and then I'd know, no, I'm looking at me, Andy Fickman.
What a rush.
Playing with Fire is you take a hardened group of smoke jumpers and they come across a group of kids who are separated from their parents, as they've been told, and they have to hold those kids until the parents can arrive, which is about a long weekend. And comedy ensues, heart ensues, drama ensues, action ensues, adventure, a lot of ensuing ensues. There's a really sweet balance, because it is a movie, I think, for all ages. But sometimes when you say that, that feels like you're trying to appeal to everyone. I think we're just a feel-good movie. When I think of movies like Three Men and a Baby, when I think of movies like Parenthood, these are movies that I've long just been some of my favorites. And the idea to explore that world here, tonally, was easy for us to dive into. When you're dealing with family and how families come together, it's almost when you least expect it. And I feel that's a lot of what our movie is. We see it through the eyes of these characters, through John Cena and the other smoke jumpers. They were not prepared for what was going to happen when these kids enter their lives. And conversely, these kids weren't prepared to trust adults. Through everything that eventually you'll learn that they have gone through. And so you've got a lot of people not prepared to trust, whose walls are up very high, and they got to let their walls down. Jake being numero uno, he is soup, he is the superintendent, he is the boss, everything happens for Jake. Right underneath him, his right hand and left hand man is Mark, played by the brilliant Keegan-Michael Key. He's the guy who's always there, even when you're not calling him. So it takes no moment in time for him to appear with whatever instrument you need. You need a map, he's got it. Need a compass, you got it. Need a fire extinguisher, Johnny on the spot. And he's fiercely loyal. And in the movie, we learn what that loyalty stemmed from. Next in command is Rodrigo Torres, who is played by John Leguizamo, who is so brilliantly funny. And again, we center on a character who has a very unique backstory, came to the Smoke Jumpers program out of prison, and whereas Mark came from more of a corporate situation, Rodrigo came from prison, and it's also a bit of the chef for the team, but he didn't have the best training. He learned to cook in prison, and he's now bringing that delicious prison food nightly to the Smoke Jumpers who would like him to stop. And then Axe, one word, Axe, like Adele. Axe is, He's our gentle giant. He's our Frankenstein in the woods. He scarred and silent, and we don't know a lot of his backstory, but we know that in a fight, whether it's fire or beyond, Axe is who you want on your side. And it will probably take a very special child to wrap him around that finger. Nice work.